Hello, beautiful people. For first-time listeners and those who've been here for a while, thank you for joining me. This podcast is where we build mental fitness, confidence, and self-love without following someone else's blueprint. I'm Lulu, and if you're feeling stuck, anxious, struggling with your worthiness, or if you're doing well but want to do even better in life, you're in the right place. This podcast is about doing life on your terms. And here's where we do the real inner work of building self-love and self-worth from the inside out. These are honest conversations about becoming who you really are. And I give you simple tools that meet you where you are. This is unedited and always from the heart. Today, we're 5 episodes into an 8-part series. And if you're new to the series, welcome. Each episode stands on its own, but if you'd like to go deeper, the earlier episodes are there for you, and I encourage you to give them a listen. There's tons of good stuff waiting for you. As a recap, here's what we've covered so far. Feeling stuck when nothing's technically wrong, knowing what to do, but still not doing it. Confidence that feels hard, even when you're capable. And last week we looked at why we're so hard on ourselves. Today we're talking about something that might have shown up for you as a result of all of that inner work. And that's exhaustion. And before we get into the juicy part of this episode, please take a few seconds to share this episode with all the people in your life who are feeling tired, exhausted, and running on fumes. A share takes a few seconds, and it can make a huge difference to someone who needs to hear this message. It makes a really big difference to me. So here's today's million-dollar question. Are you tired? This question almost doesn't need an answer because for most of us, it's a big fat yes. The kind of tired we are talking about today is not the kind where you had a late night and need to catch up on sleep. We're talking about the kind of tired that doesn't go away. The kind where you wake up tired, you rest and you're still tired, you take a vacation, a long weekend, and you come back tired. If that's you, stay with me because this conversation will help you with that tiredness you're feeling. A recent study found that 2 out of every 3 workers in the US say they are burned out. Not stressed, burned out. And here's what's interesting. It's not because we're working more hours than previous generations. The research is showing something else entirely. It's the mental load, the constant switching between tasks, the notifications, the decisions that never stop, the feeling of always being on. It's intense. It's relentless. It's pervasive. We're not just physically exhausted, we're mentally exhausted. And for many of us, we've been this way for so long that we've forgotten what it feels like to not be tired. So today's question to you is, why am I so tired all the time, even when I seem to be doing everything right? To answer that, here's what I invite you to consider. What if your tiredness isn't a problem to fix with another supplement, another superfood? And not that those aren't helpful, but what if your tiredness is a message? We treat exhaustion like it's failure, like we should be able to handle more, like if we just slept better, ate better, exercised more, meditated more, if we took the right supplements, we'd have more energy. But what if exhaustion is your body's way of telling you something really important? What if it's not asking you to do more? What if it's asking you to stop? Last week, we talked about the harsh inner voice, your inner critic, the voice that pushes and criticizes you and never lets you rest. For many of us, that voice has been driving us for years, decades even. And when you start being kinder to yourself, when you start to quiet that voice, something interesting happens. You start feeling how tired you actually are. The exhaustion you've been out running catches up with you. And this isn't a setback. This is critical awareness. Your body is finally safe enough to tell you the truth. The adrenaline that pumps as a result of that harsh inner critic, which puts your nervous system on non-stop alert, that adrenaline drops. And when the adrenaline drops, you start really feeling your exhaustion because it's no longer masked. And here's something that might surprise you. Rest does not always work. You've probably realized this. You take a weekend off, you sleep in, you do nothing, and you still feel depleted, tired. That's because there's a difference between rest and nervous system safety. Rest is what you do with your body. Safety is what your nervous system feels, and this is what makes a significant difference to how you end up feeling. You can lie on a beach for a week, but if your mind is racing with everything you should be doing, everything you have to do, everything you're behind on, everything that might go wrong, your body isn't able to really rest. It simply cannot because your nervous system is on high alert. It's scanning for danger, and that's not rest. That's worrying about things that haven't happened yet, and your nervous system is on constant alert. True rest requires your nervous system to feel safe. And for many of us, that feeling of safety is really unfamiliar. We don't know how to access nervous system safety. We've been in survival mode for so long that we've actually forgotten what it feels like to truly be in our bodies and let go. I want to share something that helped me understand this. For years, I was tired, constantly tired. I tried everything: better sleep habits, supplements, exercise, cutting out caffeine, taking regular breaks. And none of it made a lasting difference. And then I realized something. I wasn't actually resting when I rested. I just thought I was resting. I was lying down, chilling in front of the TV, but my mind was still running, swirling, spiraling. I was taking breaks, but when I did, I was thinking about what I needed to do next. I was never fully where I was. I was not fully present. I was on autopilot, just doing things while my mind was elsewhere. My body was always waiting for the next thing to go wrong or the next thing to do. My nervous system never got the signal that it was safe to stop. When I started to understand this, that rest isn't just about what you do. It's about what your body believes. When I realized that, things started to shift. I stopped trying to fix my tiredness with more doing and better habits, and I started giving my body what it actually needed. Small moments of safety throughout the day. Not big retreats, not perfect self-care routines, just moments where my nervous system could exhale and settle. Moments where it could feel safe. Moments when I focused my awareness on what I was doing and became truly present in the here and now. I did this for short periods to start, literally 30 seconds, then a minute, then a couple of minutes, and I built this slowly. And I'll make a distinction that might be helpful to you. There's a difference between being tired and being depleted. Tired is what happens after effort. You work hard, you get tired, you rest, you recover. And that's a healthy cycle. Depleted is a completely different type of tiredness. Depleted is when your reserves are empty, when there's nothing left to draw from, when rest just does not refill your container because your energy reserves, the container that holds it, has holes in it. Because your nervous system is always on alert and your mind is never still, never present. And this is where burnout starts. If you're depleted, more rest won't help. You need to repair the holes in your container first. You need to patch those holes so that your energy doesn't seep through those holes. And how do you do that? You do it by creating moments, even tiny ones, where your body and your nervous system feel safe. You don't do it by adding more to your plate or by trying harder at self-care. So here's a tiny tool for this week that will help you. I call it micro moments of safety. You don't need to set aside hours for self-care. Very few of us have time for that. You don't need necessarily a meditation retreat or a perfect morning routine, both of which can be extremely helpful, but not necessary for this practice. This is about giving your nervous system small signals throughout your day that say, I can let go just for a moment. Here's how it works. It's really simple. A few times a day, it could be twice, it could be 5 times. Pause for 30 seconds. That's it, 30 seconds. And in that pause, do one of these things. Take 3 slow breaths, slower than usual, and let the exhale be longer than the inhale. Or you can put your hand on your chest and feel your own heartbeat. Just notice it. Bring all your awareness to your hand and what your heartbeat feels like. Or you can look around the room slowly with intention and presence and name 3 things out loud that you can see. All you want to do through this is be fully present in the moment. Or you can step outside for 30 seconds or a minute. Close your eyes and feel the air on your skin. And again, focus with intention. Really feel what the air feels like on your skin. These practices are powerful because they are signals to your nervous system. They're not wellness hacks. As simple as these practices are, doing them says to your nervous system, right now, in this moment, I am safe. Nothing is chasing me. I am safe enough to stop for 30 seconds. My nervous system can stop scanning for danger and start feeling safe. The goal is not to feel completely rested after 30 seconds. That's impossible. But the goal is to interrupt the pattern. Let me say that again so you get the message clearly. The goal of these practices is not to feel completely rested after 30 seconds. The goal is to interrupt the pattern of constant thought spiraling through your mind. The goal is to give your body a micro experience of nervous system safety. And when you do this repeatedly over days and weeks, something will begin to shift. Your nervous system starts to trust that it can let go. And that's when real rest becomes possible. Now you are fully prepared for the rest your body needs. It's like prepping the soil before you plant your seeds. Here's what I'd like you to take with you. Your tiredness is critical information. It's your body asking for something, and that something isn't always more sleep or more supplements or better food. It's very often nervous system safety. If you're tired all the time, it's likely not because you're weak. It's not because you're doing life wrong. And it's not because everyone else can handle it and you can't. We've been taught that exhaustion is a sign that we need to try harder, optimize better, do more, do different. But what if exhaustion is a sign we've been running for too long? What if it's an invitation to stop? Really stop. Many of us don't know how to truly stop. We think we're resting, but our nervous systems are still on high alert because our minds are constantly going. So by doing these 30-second practices, we give our bodies and our minds a chance to stop just long enough to remember what it feels like to not be in survival mode. You've spent years, maybe your whole life, pushing through, and that took strength. But there is strength in stopping. There's also strength in listening. And there's strength in giving yourself what you actually need. And the beautiful thing is that you don't have to stress your finances with a whole load of new supplements or interventions. If you choose to do that, there can be a lot of benefit. But these practices are useful with or without supplements and interventions, and they cost nothing. And you don't have to choose which supplements, exercise, or these practices. You can do both. But these practices are accessible right now, which means the benefit is available to you right now. Next week in part 6, we're exploring anxiety, and specifically why you might feel anxious even when things are going smoothly. Because here's what often happens. You start to rest, you create moments of safety, and instead of feeling peaceful, you feel slightly anxious, like something is wrong, like you have forgotten something, like the calm itself is suspicious. If that's ever happened to you, next week's episode is for you. We'll talk about why your nervous system doesn't always trust good things at first. And we'll talk about what to do about it. For today, I invite you and encourage you to try micro moments of safety. Just 30 seconds, a few times a day. Notice what happens. Notice if your body resists it. Notice if it feels awkward or uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign it's new, and you're simply not used to it. That's all. You can watch this episode on my YouTube channel or check out my shorts, which are bite-sized tools to help you build mental fitness one small step at a time. And please subscribe while you're there, and rate and follow this show wherever you get your podcasts. And please share this episode with people in your life who are tired. Not just regular tired, the kind of tired that doesn't seem to go away. I'm sure you have loads of people in your life who feel that way. And as always, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And today, with deep compassion for every exhausted part of you that has been running for far too long, this comes straight from my heart to yours. I'll see you next week for part 6.